Welcome to Vibes of India. I'm Janvi and this is the latest segment of how I made my first million. Today I'm sitting with someone who can talk about fashion and sustainability in the same line. She is someone who wants to change the key fabric of the clothes that you and I are wearing. She is someone who believes in conscious capitalism. I'm very glad to welcome Shikha Shah on How I Made My First Million. She is the founder of AltMat and she'll tell us much more about the company and what was the idea behind it.
Thank you for having me on the show, John. It's a pleasure to be a part of this. And moving to the question that you asked, well, AltMat is an alternative materials company. Well, alternative materials essentially mean just like how oil and gas has been one of the major polluters. A lot of materials that we use in everyday things like textiles have also been major polluters. So just like how oil and gas needed alternative fuel, the materials needed alternative materials.
Okay.
Interestingly for us, one of the key focuses have been textile, because when we studied textiles, it was very clear that the kind of materials that we use, like polyester, which is nothing but plastic, or cotton, which is of course a beautiful material when it comes to end of life. However, the kind of pesticides or water it takes to grow signified something which was very hazardous and dangerous, and it was very clear that the future of textiles belongs to better materials. Interestingly, again, we started using agriculture waste as a source, meaning now we end up solving two problems, one of agriculture waste, and another of textile pollution. So what we essentially do is, you can let the farmer grow this crop for food of certain kinds, and then they're left with the biomass. We globally collect these biomass, bring it to our factory, and through a proprietary technology convert it into a natural fiber.
Interesting.
This fiber then could be anything. It could be your carpet, it could be your dress, it could be your purse, it could be your shoes, and so on.
Yes.
So that's what we do at AltMat at the moment.
And tell us how easy or how difficult it is to make money through such a sort of business.
I think there are definitely, if I were to really spell the three difficult parts of it, is one, it is a material science company where you're saying that you're going to change the core material of something which is very dear to humans, clothes, fashions, right? So it's something that needs to be thoroughly tested. It needs to go through the process of lab testing and then pilot testing and then capsule collection and finally walking to your wardrobe, which means you build pilot factories and then you build huge factories before we get it to you, right? So this is a patient journey, and that becomes one part of the whole perspective around the company. The other in itself, manufacturing startups are not the startup that starts making revenues or profit in the first year, in the second year. It's kind of a race where you have to really see what kind of manufacturing models are you building. Is it something which is future ready? Is it something where you can make sure that your quality control, lean production, so that becomes the second essential part, which also calls for a lot of patience and attention to details. And the third part is that you're dealing with sustainability as a concept, as an idea, as a culture, a cultural misconception also sometimes. So you need to redo the definition of what sustainability means. Does it mean saving water? Does it mean saving carbon? So probably
takes time.
Yes, exactly, right? So bringing that science, that consciousness about sustainability and the execution of manufacturing all together to one plate is what it takes to build AltMat.
And tell us, it's been 2 years that you started this venture. What has been the riskiest business decision that you've ever taken?
I think there's no, it will be very tough for me to pick one, but there definitely have been key moments out there, and some of those come daily. For example, I think when you go ahead and say that, no, my pilot factory is working well, I would like to take the risk of building a bigger commercial factory. That kind of is a risky decision to take, but that's also a decision where it takes a lot of self-belief, where it takes a lot of patience again. So that has been one of the major moments out there. But I really believe that as a company that's trying to build truly sustainable and yet economically viable materials, we face those questions on daily basis. For example, what would you want to save more, water or carbon? Is there a way that you want to trade off your air pollution for a water pollution? So I think those are those decision makings which are very interesting at the team, and like the way team thinks about it is very interesting, and those are the things that keep us really up and makes us feel that we're doing something which is really worthy doing out there.
And Shikha, I've also seen that young people are building very different organization cultures. It is not about 9 to 5 job. It's not about, a lot of pressure in the work. So tell me the kind of work culture in the organization that you're looking at.
Well, you know what, like most of the people that are, in fact, all the people that are at AltMat right now, they have certain value that they associate more with at AltMat. There are some people who are there because they are from the farming background and they know that it is essential to increase the income of the farmer. Being able to use that byproduct really helps. There are some people who are great fans of sustainability and that they know that there is a lot of greenwashing happening around, so they want to be part of something which is truly sustainable, which is truly something that will stick around for longer. There are others who are part of the companies because they love innovation. They want to see how do you write the new cultural norms while making sure that innovation has economic sides to it, right? So I think when it comes to work culture, one essential thing that we try to do is that you can only work for a company like this and have patience like this if you have your own reason of why do you want this.
Your why should be clear.
Yes, why would you want this company to be bigger, right? And that reasoning needs to go beyond money. That needs to go beyond something where you feel that, oh, it's worth my life, it's worth my time, right?
Interesting.
So that's probably one of the key things. Well, other than that, I think all of us are on our toes. We really know that it is something that needs to be done frugally. It needs to be done limbly, or I would say in complete agility. So people are at work all the time. We are at work all the time. Yes, we do space out because otherwise the productivity goes down. So we have very healthy productivity system where we space out for productivity. But overall the conversations are always on. Somebody or the other is always thinking about what sustainability means, what economics mean.
And tell me the number of farmers or the number of farms in Gujarat that you are associated with.
Well, when it comes to agriculture waste, our supply chains are pretty global. So which means that we also buy agriculture waste from other continents. Having said that, do we work with farmers from Gujarat? Absolutely, from the western region as well, so from other parts of India as well. So we have like two essential types of farmers that we work with. One of these are the big agri crops like cooperatives and things like that, where they can collect this agriculture waste at scale, and the other is more inclusive, where we work with smaller farmers to see can we take your input year on year. So those are the testings that do go on, and I really believe that it is going to magnify next 3 years.
And tell me that is your family into entrepreneurship? What inspired you to take this leap of faith?
Well, this company is kind of very different from what my family does in terms of business. But yes, my father has been an entrepreneur. My mother has been an amazing person when it comes to discipline and hard work and value systems. So that has definitely affected me. Interestingly, my father, his company started almost at the same time as I was born. And what they do is they buy automobile waste and transform it back into metals. So that's
both of you are,
Yes. So the common grounds probably is waste to value creations or materials and things like that. So there definitely is alignment, but it in its own right is quite different as well.
Very interesting. And tell us, like, what's the vision for the company when it comes to waste to value creation? Where do you see it like over the years?
I think we need to take this to scale. A lot of times what happens is this materials of future, technologies of future do not belong to present. They are somewhere only in lab stage or pilot stage. So if I were to talk about what is something that we want to do in next 5 years, we want to make sure that such production lines are replicated across agriculture and textile hubs, right? So having said that, from the execution perspective, I think we would mainstream sustainability. We will make sure that these alternative materials belong to millions of homes and wardrobes out there. So that's what the vision of the company is.
Great. I mean, we wish you all the luck, and thank you so much for your time.
It was a pleasure to be a part of this. Thank you so much for having me.
For more such interviews, keep watching Vibes of India. Thank you.